I am just jumping in. Well, I am feeling truly blessed to be asked to, hi Ali, how you doing? To come in. Hi Rebecca, how you going guys? How you doing? I just had a little bit of a attack going, oh my God, am I on the right channel? Yes, I am. I'm in Happiness Aid, aren't I? Yeah, fabulous. So hi guys, hi Rihanna, hi Russell, hi Natasha, how you doing? Nice to see all you guys. Hi there, how you going? I have been watching all of the Happiness Aid lives just lately, and morning Rebecca, how you going? Hi Rebecca. And I, like Justin Langer, how cool was that? That was amazing. And to listen to his story and what, do you know what amazed me actually was when he was saying how in his deepest, darkest moments is actually when he grew the most, and he feels really blessed. He's flipped that, which I'm going to discuss with you guys here in the Mind Mastery Project, but he flipped that and saw the good in it, and he's grateful for those darkest times because they've made him who he is. Yeah. Good morning. Hi, Jelena. How you doing? How you going? Great to see you guys. I am really excited this morning to be here with you guys in the Happiness Aid, and I noticed all you guys start off with what you're grateful for, so I'm going to start the same. Because I work my hardest to live in gratitude, and I have to say I'm human, and sometimes I don't because I'm human. But I think that, all of us, just with our self-awareness, the awareness is most of it, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it? Robbie Figg, yeah. And Justin Langer, I was really inspired with it. I watched it last night when I was in the bath, actually. So what I'm grateful for today, I'm grateful for my boys. I'm always grateful for my boys and my husband, and I'm grateful for living on the farm. But I've got a real deep one to share with you guys. You know what I'm really grateful for right now? And I've been mulling over this a little bit. And since our conversation, Jel, you and I, the other day, when you just must have triggered something, and you know what I'm really grateful for? I'm really grateful for the work I've done on myself in the last 2 years. The time and effort and resources I put into me over the last 2 years, because they talk about filling your own cup, right? Hi Shelley, how you doing? They talk about filling your own cup, don't they? And one of the most things I'm really, truly grateful for right now is having spent time and resources and effort and space and created a space for me to work on me, really, really work on me in the last 2 years. Because any of you guys are parents, mums or dads even as well, like I did my early, when you're a teenager, then you do your 20s, I was flat out doing me, running around the world playing my sport at a high level and partying, to be honest. I was a real party animal. I still am sometimes, but and then my 30s, and I really was either pregnant or breastfeeding. And I really, it was all about my family, which it always is. I was also busy, so busy looking after everyone else, to be honest. And, I had skin problems. I was chronically overweight for a while in between pregnancies. I was self-sabotaging. I was up and down because everybody went before me. And I feel so truly grateful that, hi Barry, how you going? I feel so truly grateful that 2 years ago when my youngest hit 5, it's a hard thing to do because you've got all the guilt. I really stepped outside of my putting everybody first, and I really filled my cup. And thank God I did, because COVID-19 and all the pressures, financially and so many business, if I hadn't have filled me, I don't know what would have happened. I'm sure I would have been all right. I would have survived it, but I don't think I would be thriving the way that I am now. So that's my gratitude. I know it's a really long one, but that is a real heartfelt gratitude. And I don't know if anybody can relate, or if anybody needs to take that time out and have you got, this is what I've been taught, and I want to teach to you guys really quickly. It's mind mastery, but I am going to get into that. Have you guys ever heard of the oxygen mask thing? So, when you're in an aeroplane, they say, pull down thing, and in case of an accident, put it on your make sure you put the strap and da-da-da, and make sure you have it on yourself first. Yeah, it's really so hard to do, but it is, you think that you're being selfish, but you're actually not. If you don't put your own oxygen mask on first to make sure that you're good, you're actually no good for anybody else. So if you go and pop your oxygen mask on everybody, you know, your family, your children, you know, you think about it in an aeroplane accident, right? And if you're going to fall from the sky, I don't know if an oxygen mask is going to help you anyway, but just thinking in this context, right? If you pop that oxygen mask on everybody else first, you're not going to survive. You're going to get a few people and then you're going to die because you run out of oxygen. But if you put yours on first, and then you can help everybody else. And so I reckon that, yeah, 100%. That in there is what I'm the most grateful for at the moment. And I still struggle because you know, am I being a good mum? Am I being a good wife? Am I being a good business owner? Am I being, you know, like you feel torn and torn and torn, but just remember, and it is so, so important. And when I was first told this, I thought, you know, selfish, but it's not. It's really not selfish. I feel truly grateful that I put some time into me, time, effort, and money into me, building me, because I can help so many more people. And that's, that went on a bit, but I think that's a key point. Really, really important. I wasn't even going to discuss it. I don't know where that came from. Mind mastery. That is what, yeah, I can relate to your third gratitude. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. I love the way you guys are so interactive. It's great. I love it. Yeah, cool. So, mind mastery. This is what I would really like to get in and talk with you guys about. You guys all know my passion is to create grounded, resilient, well-adjusted children. It comes from my story. My father took his life when I was 8, and then suicide hit again when I was 21. And I realised, and then I went to play for Australia, in polo cross for Australia, and travelled the world. And I realised then at the Australian Institute of Sport that the mind and the power of the mind, the game, a sporting game is won or lost. Yeah, thanks, Natasha. Yeah, the sporting game is won or lost between the two in the mind. And then I realised with, you know, life skills and having children, I have 4 boys and I'm 41 now, that the game of life is won or lost between the mind. And so I've really travelled all around the world, being, you know, learning, teaching, doing, the power of a positive mindset. And I have been so passionate about, you know, I think that if my dad, and nobody knew about it back then, when I was 8 years of age, so that was a while ago, nobody knew about, well, they didn't really talk about mindfulness, or it was sort of woo-woo and a bit hippie and a bit spiritual and a bit out there. But now I believe that it's backed by neuroscience, and it's hardcore, digestible, real stuff. And that is what Mind Mastery, the Mind Mastery Project is something I put together, but I've actually put it together for children between 4 and 14. But today I'm wanting to, and when I was speaking with Jelena, it was Robbie, I loved your interview the other day. Hi, I don't know you, but I watched you and Justin Lang at that video. That interview was amazing last night. But Mind Mastery is the foundation. If we can understand, neuroscience has come a long way in the last 18 months, yeah? And if we can understand the way that the mind works at a deeper, basic level, then we can use that to our advantage. Okay, so if we understand the basic neuroscience behind the way the mind works, I'm sure we're going to learn more as human neuroscience improves, but then we can use that for our children or ourselves to our advantage. And the Mind Mastery Project is just one module of all of my whole program, but I'm wanting to share that with you from a parent's perspective or from an adult perspective. So I've written these in stories, for kids, yeah? But I have changed it for you guys here to give it to you as a resource, really. So Mind Mastery there's 5 topics in it. Like I've split it up into 5. And the first one I started was how your mind shapes your world. And in the first story, I talk about like I use an analogy of an aeroplane. So the mind is split into 2 pieces, okay, into 2 parts. We've got our conscious mind and we've got our subconscious mind. And I explain it to the kids like an aeroplane. You've got a pilot, which is your conscious mind, and you've got your autopilot, which is your subconscious mind. So the pilot is the man driving the plane or the woman driving the plane, and she is the one, or he is the one that thinks, makes decisions like, if I want the red top or the blue top, or if I want a banana or an apple. That's the conscious mind, and they make those conscious decisions, and that's the mind that we're aware of all the time. That is the mind that says 1 + 1 is 2. And then the subconscious mind is what's going on in the background. And the difference between an autopilot and an aeroplane and your subconscious mind, the only difference there is you can turn your autopilot off. But your subconscious mind you can't turn off. It's there all the time, even when we're sleeping. And it's such a powerful tool. If you learn about it, if you know that it's there to begin with, and then if you learn how to use that to your advantage. So your subconscious mind is that always going on in the background, and it is what holds your limiting or supporting beliefs about you and your life. And Jell and I were talking about this last week. We had a great conversation about, how our children, our limiting, your limiting, my limiting, all of our limiting beliefs are generally created when we were a child. Most of them are, like 90% of them are created, when we were a child. Jell would know the perfect stats. She knows exactly the time frame and the age group and how, based on research and what she does. But the limiting beliefs and supportive beliefs are created when we were a child. And so if we can learn, we need to just, being aware of that to begin with is like more than half of the answers, there in there. But so how your belief system is formed. So we can look at, and then one of the key aspects of that whole story and supportive and your conscious and your subconscious mind is, that's it, cool, perfect, there you go, Jell, perfect. 0 to 7 years old is all subconscious thought. Yeah, that's right. So if you've got your limiting belief, your subconscious mind saying one thing because of something that has happened to you in the past, and your conscious mind saying, no, I actually want to be able to do that, and they are not on the same path, they are not saying the same thing, they're not telling the same story, then that's when your plane crashes. So if your pilot and your autopilot aren't working together, then your plane crashes. Yay, I'm on track, Jell, hey? Good stuff. So that is why. So the example in the story is she's a good football player, okay? But then her subconscious mind or her autopilot tells her that only boys play football. I don't want everybody to think I'm a boy, like AFL, yeah? Her conscious mind is saying, I am a football star. I kick goals. I kick like 5 goals a game. And her subconscious mind is saying, when she heard the girls in the lunchroom saying, oh, she thinks she's a boy. Grace thinks she's a boy. And when her football goes downhill. So from a sporting background, that's where I get it. Yeah. But it happens in life as well. So Albert the Wise Unicorn, he comes in and tells her about the way the mind works and tells her about her autopilot and her pilot are not talking the same language. And so her plane is crashing, and that's why she's not achieving her goals. And so that's the first story I've got into. So the conscious and the subconscious mind. So if you can think of that, like I know you guys are probably well aware of it, but so many people aren't, so many adults aren't, so many parents aren't aware of the power of the mind. Like it truly does dictate the rest of your life. The way you're living now is a depiction, a true depiction of the thoughts you were thinking. You are what you think you are. And the power of the conscious and the subconscious mind. How am I going for time now again? Oh gosh. Right, next one. The next story I cover in the Mind Mastery Project is you achieve what you believe. And I talk about, thanks guys. You guys are mums, so you can kind of understand or kind of relate, can't you? So my youngest boy, he does all the colouring in, and I think it might flow in through osmosis because he's not really interested in listening to mum tell a story. But my big boys, it depends on your child. My nieces and nephews are loving it, and I'm getting some good feedback from, paid clients as well. Yeah, pleasure. There's more, just wait. So the next one is why you achieve what you believe. And it talks about, the characters in there are my 4 boys, actually. I've written about kids I know. And I've talked about, what the second one talks about is dreaming big. So often, if we do it as well, in fact, I still do it and I'm still aware, like I know about it. I still do it. I go, oh, that's a bit scary, and I bring it back down to my comfort zone. But if you don't ever think slightly outside, okay? If you don't ever have some sort of, big, hairy, audacious goal, those BHAGs that they talk about, then you will never get anywhere near it, because unless you have an idea of where it is you are wanting to go, you'll just flit along. So comfort zones it needs to be taught that without being unrealistic, we can't just lie on the bed and wish we, make $1 million and expect it to fall from the ceiling. That's not how it works. You guys and I know that if you think you can, and then you put the work behind it, you actually can. And so why you achieve what you believe. It's something that is taught sometimes a little bit, but it's support. Oh, talk all day. Natasha, you're so gorgeous. I could actually. But why you achieve what you believe. So that's the second one. And it's something that is actually spoken about a lot, even in, hi Mark, how you doing? Nice to join us. It is actually something spoken about in everyday society more than, say, that conscious and subconscious mind. But this is the foundations of the rest of our lives. And if our kids could understand the power of, first understand in a fundamental way that the mind works, and then they can choose to use it or not. That's how it works. But if they didn't even know about it, so about our own self-awareness, when I think about it, when I got off that phone from you, Jill, I was thinking, it's really like I live in gratitude, you live in gratitude, but I still catch myself, running down that rabbit hole of negativity. I still catch myself. And, when I was thinking back, when I was unaware, when I was living in an unaware space, was it better or wasn't it? It's clearly not, but it feels like it is what you can be armed with the tools, and then you can choose to use them or you choose not to. The choice is up to each individual, and that's it with parenting. You can tell your child that is hot and they can't touch it, but the choice is theirs, do you know? All we can do is arm them with all the tools that they need so that they can make clear decisions. And absolutely, Jill, oh my God, I wish somebody had taught me this when I was 8. So when I was 8, it all came crashing down. Like, 8's my favourite number, I can't believe it. But anyway, when I was 8 years of age, it all came crashing down. And if somebody had taught me a little bit about this, a little bit, it would have been amazing. So from 8 to, it was at 13 at the Australian Institute of Sport, yeah. Me too. That I truly wish somebody had taught me this too when I was a little girl. And that is why I put this together. So, my next one, third. I need a drink because am I yelling at you guys? Sorry, I feel like I'm getting excited. And my third one is neural pathways. Excuse me. Neural pathways. So, I explain this. So neural pathways, yeah, I get so excited. I explain neural pathways to the children like a road, like a map. We've got a road like a map, like a map. And the road between two cities, that's the neural pathway. Yeah, thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, Jelena. The road between two cities, that's the neural pathway. And I tell a story here about a little boy called Harry, because he's my nephew. And he is on a horse, a really big horse, because I own a riding school and we ride horses. And Harry is sitting up on this horse and he's so nervous. He's so anxious. He's absolutely packing himself sitting up on this horse because it's so far to fall, and he really wanted to be a cowboy, but maybe he should just stay being led on the little pony, because this big horse is like way out of his comfort zone, and his mind is he's almost having panic attacks sitting up there. And the instructor goes to do something else, and in jumps Albert the wise unicorn and tells Harry about the neural pathways and why he's feeling anxious. And the reason he is feeling anxious is because there's no neural pathway between those two cities. He's never done it before, and his mind is going, I've never done this, there's no neural pathway, and he's feeling anxious. He is feeling nervous, and the way to overcome that is to build that neural pathway. So if you've done something over and over again, you don't get nervous about doing it. If you have never done anything before, your mind's natural reaction, the way the mind is built, is to go, oh, this is different, this could kill me, and then it gets on alert with anxiousness, with anxious feelings, nervous feelings. And the way, so we use this in sport all the time, high level sport, is to build those neural pathways. And the hack, yeah, do you love Albert? So do I. Oh my God, Patrick, my youngest boy, is obsessed with Albert. Obsessed. He's got colouring in. Oh my God, he's out of control. All of his teddies are called Albert now. He's nearly 7 and he just loves Albert, the wise unicorn. Anyway, so those neural pathways, get back to that. A great hack to nervousness and anxiety, especially the levels of anxiety, the amount of children that have come to like Jared on Mindfit and the Equestrian Centre that have anxiety. It's like it's a diagnosable problem now. People like kids, the anxious kids, it's such a problem, and all they need to know is how they get that, and they get it through no neural pathways. So, and the way to hack that is to visualize it. So we can trick our mind into thinking we've done something before by visualizing it. And then the neural pathway gets built, even if you've not actually done it. So how's about that hack? Did you guys know about that? Anybody that has done any sort of sport to any sort of level, yeah, goddamn, absolutely. So any sort of sport to any sort of level, okay? So when we were playing at the World Cup, you did all of your training, all of your skills, all of your fitness, all of your horse, all of your positive mindset. But one of the main things they taught us at the Australian Institute of Sport was visualization. You need to do everything else as well. You can't just sit there and visualize it. But by visualizing the end goal, visualizing catching that ball, visualizing scoring that goal, visualizing, breaking it right down, and you run through your game the night before in your head. All tennis players do it, all elite sports people do it now. It's common practice in elite sport. And it can be common practice in everyday life. Visualization helps you to hack your brain. It's like a hack to build neural pathways. And then it stops our anxious thoughts. So how's about that one for a little gold nugget? I think that is, instead of medicating and, don't get me started on this. I understand that we do need medication in some places, but all we need to do is have a little look at why we are causing this by the way that the things that neuroscience has told us about the way the mind works. 2 more, and then I promise... not going too bad. I promise I will, 2 more. Okay, so the next 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th one here I'm wanting to tell you guys about, and I heard Jules talk about it before on his live, is the reticular activating system. Is that how you say it? The RAS, R-A-S, or I call it your inner detective for the kids so that they can understand it. And so this story covers it covers the way the children, like it explains the way if you were going to think about everything that happens in the world, in your world. If you were going to think about every single light, noise, smell, distant noise, movement, RAS, If you were to notice, because our brain is a phenomenal thing. We don't even know the half of it, okay? But if we were to notice every single thing our brain picks up around us, we would be like, did I say it? Yeah, thanks, Randa. You would be like sensory overload. We couldn't process it, and we could not, we couldn't pick every single thing up, and we would just be overloaded, okay? And like computer burnout and blowout. So what our mind does is it shuts out those things that we don't need to know about. So like I can hear the kids in the background there, but I don't need to know about it because I'm talking to you. So my mind doesn't pick that up unless I think about it. And that's what your inner detective does, or your reticular activating system does, is it pulls out what you need to know to pay attention to reach whatever the goals are that you're wanting to do at that present time. Now, if our children know about that, yay, thanks guys, I'm on par, am I? Yeah, cool, love your hearts and things. So if you understand that, if you're just made aware of that, imagine the possibility of writing down or being aware of exactly what it is you're wanting to achieve on that day or on that week or in that month or in that year. And if you were to write that down, your inner detective will pick that up, and they will pull out those things from that environment around you over the next, whatever it is, time frame that you put on it, and they will bring it forward to help you to achieve those goals. Now, how cool is that? That is so cool. So many children don't know that. In fact, so many adults don't know that. Just even knowing that would change your life, wouldn't it? To know about your own inner detective. You've got your own personal inner detective that doesn't go to sleep. It stays awake all the time. And it will pull out whatever you want it to pull out and put it in front of you for you to use it or not to use it. It's your choice. Like, how cool is that? How powerful is that? That is so powerful. And if you use it for good, you're cracking on. But be very, very aware you don't use it for bad. And this is what most people fall into the trap of. What you focus on is what you get, and this is how it works. Because of your reticular activating, because of your inner detective, okay? I should have written it down so I know I'm saying the right words. But because of your inner detective. So if you're thinking of the bad over and over again, it's so powerful, isn't it, Rebecca? Absolutely. If you're thinking of the bad over and over and over and over again, that your mind, your subconscious mind, your inner detective will pull all that out and stick it out in front of you and say, there you go, told you so. This is how it happens. And so I feel so truly blessed. This is another gratitude of mine that I've worked this out. Not worked this out. I didn't work it out. I was taught it. I read it. I've done classes on it so that I can teach my kids this. So I always understood you get what you focus on, but I didn't know how, and that's how. It's so cool. So, well, that's one of the ways how. That is my inner detective, and they talk about the universal law of attraction. I think it's got a fair bit to do with your own inner detective, your reticular activating system. Yeah, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Absolutely. You're dead right, Natasha. You hear it so often, and that's what you get. That's what you get in life. So if we can teach our children about their own inner detective, so that if they have a problem or an issue, they can just flip it over to their inner detective and the solutions will appear when they're ready. And just trust in that. And that just takes the whole, oh my God, the whole anxious side of it out of whatever issue or whatever problem it is. If you think of a child's mind and the way it's working and how they're trying to build neural pathways, I truly believe that is a really important part. So that's why Mind Mastery is the first module. And then my last one, hang on, I need to sit now again. So my last one is flipping your power, or flipping your mindset, or flipping your thoughts. That's your favourite quote, where your focus go, where your energy goes, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Yeah, it's a cool one. I have it on my fridge this is my office over here. So I have it on my fridge in the office. The girls read it all the time. I have lots of them. All my cool quotes, I love just sticking them up everywhere. Now, the last one is my most important and my most favourite one. It is flipping your thoughts. And I talk to the kids. This is about my niece Tanisha. She's my goddaughter, and it so perfectly suits her. And this is why I've come up with the way is choosing your power even when things aren't working for you. And so this teaches the child, or teaches you, like the adult as well, that they are completely responsible for how they choose to react to any situation. Sometimes stuff happens and we can think it can happen to us, or we can choose to stand in our power and think about how it happened for us and what we can learn from it. So the example here is the little girl. She comes in and, her teacher was mean to her at school because she hadn't had something finished, and she was trying to trick her, according to this young girl, little Tanisha is her name. And so her teacher tried to trick her with some tests and was mean to her. And then her netball coach was mean to her as well and made her do extra laps. Like, it was horrible at netball because of the way that her coach was out to get her. And then when she came home from school, her mum was mean to her as well, made her, hi Katrina, how you doing? Her mum was mean to her as well and made her set the table. Which she always has to set the table, and she's just in a right hump. Everything's going bad for her. Nothing's working. Everything's going bad. And Albert, she humps off to her room after dinner, and she's sulking. And Albert comes in, and he teaches her that stuff happens, we do have good stuff happen, we do have bad stuff happen, but it's our choice as to how we react or respond to every single situation within our life. And the power of flipping a negative into a positive is so self-empowering. It helps you to stand completely within your power and choose where you're going and what you're going. Yeah, here comes Albert again. Albert's amazing. I'm not too sure if I'm doing a good job of explaining this one, but what it is exactly that. No, I'm just repeating myself again. It is really whether you are putting your power out there as a response to what other people are saying, or whether you are taking responsibility for yourself, excuse me, and your own choice on how you're going to react. Yeah, did that make sense? It makes much better sense when because I've written in for kids. I'm much better at speaking to kids. So flipping your power, I truly believe that is my most favourite and the most powerful, yeah, thanks, Joe, the most powerful tool that you can give your child, so they can look at every situation, because you can't control the way other children react, or even other adults react to your child, but you can teach your child how to learn how to respond. And whether to take it on as they made me do this, or whether to take it on as it was my choice to do that, or it was my choice. Yeah. Thanks, Katrina. I'll just read you my story. It was my choice to do that. So I think, or my choice to think that. So I think that to teach your child to flip your power, to flip their mind, to flip it. I often say it. So isn't it amazing? I have 4 boys and I bring them all up. How to flip it. Yeah. How do you flip someone being mean to you to a positive? So you flip how, like that is a good one. So how do you flip it? So you flip somebody being mean to you. You flip the way you feel about it. You don't actually flip them because they're in control of them. You are only in control of you. The only thing you can control is the way you think about something, or the way you respond to something, or the way you say something, or the way you like the way you take it. So you can't control the way they are, but you can control the way you are. And that, my mum actually taught me that as a pretty young girl, and I really, really appreciate it. And what it does is, if you can teach your children really young and keep at it and keep at it and keep at it to flip their power, they become the eternal optimist. And it's the eternal optimists that succeed in any area or aspect of their life. Hi, Tammy. How you going? How you doing? Nice to see you. So that is what flipping your power. That is the power of flipping your thoughts. Yeah. So you think of any of those big names in the world, you know, any of the big multinational companies owned by phenomenal entrepreneurs. Example is Richard Branson. He is the ultimate optimist. I don't know if I want to be for Richard Branson, but what I do want is to be able to do more, be more, have more, give more, and I would like my children to do the same. And so if I can teach them from a really young age to stand in their power and choose the way that they respond to a situation, and to flip it from a negative to a positive, then I'm going to create the environment for them to be the eternal optimist. Because I have 4 boys. 2 of them are natural optimists. And 2 of them, I don't know how, but they aren't. They, from a really young age, both of them, number 2 and number 4, okay, of my boys, both of them would often come to me and start telling me a story about something that happened. And then they would tell me a story about why they did that to me, and this person here was mean to me, and that there happened that was bad. And down they go the rabbit warren. And I'm not like, well, I catch myself when I'm like that. My husband's not like it. They must have licked it off the floor somewhere. I have no idea. But one of my really big, strong life goals as a parent has been to teach those 2 boys, and I think I've been quite successful in doing it, to flip their power, or to flip their thoughts, flip their mindset, stand in their power and understand that it is not what happens to you, it's how you respond. That's the adult version. But the kids one is flipping your thoughts. And the difference it makes to your whole demeanour. And then it rolls on then, what you achieve, where your focus is, your energy flows, and off you go. So I hope that was helpful to you guys. So that was just the guts of the Mind Mastery Project. From, I don't know if it was a bit, thanks babe. Thanks Tammy. I don't know if that was, that digestible, because this is the first time I've tried to put it to adults. I am much better at putting it to children, as I said. But that is the guts of it, and then the rest builds on there. So if you can get with those 5 things, how your mind shapes your world, your comfort zones and what you achieve, you believe, neural pathways and how to hack that with visualization. And that's why we feel nervous or anxious, is because the neural pathways haven't been built. And our hack, our shortcut with that one, your inner detective, your reticular activating system, your inner detective, and how they will find exactly what you need to achieve those goals in that particular time frame, And then the last one is flipping your thoughts. And so they're the 5 key elements, I believe, to the Mind Mastery project. And I hope that was helpful to you guys. I know it certainly has been to me and my parenting and my children. And I know it's helpful. I just know it is because it's been proven. I've had so many children come through here at the Equestrian Centre, and go on back. I think it starts better than it ends. I get a little bit lost there in the middle of it, but because this is the first time I've done it to adults. And I don't give them all kids don't need all 5 of those all in one. That would just like blow their mind. It is, bite-sized chunks. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's any particular questions you guys have got, I will do my absolute best, but I reckon Jill will be the best girl to answer it because what she's doing in Happy Hearts is epic. The brainchild of Happy Hearts, that is like epic, but you guys all know about that. I think I might be out of time. Got 5 more minutes. That'll be the first. Pleasure, Natasha. Thanks so much. It was all awesome. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thanks, Tammy. Your kids are doing this program as it is. And I'm getting good feedback from you too on your 3 wildlings. Cool. Thanks, Jill. Thanks for all the hearts. Thanks, Natasha. Thanks, Katrina. Thanks, Shelley. Hope it helps you guys. Ciao for now. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.